Welcome to Turnpike Sports. I'm Dave Weischadle, and as always, I'm joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weischadle. Doug, a big congratulations to Ohio.
About time.
Yes.
About
yes.
time.
They became the newest state to legalize sports betting.
33rd state.
I was wondering. I was looking for that.
According to the American Gaming Association, it was the 33rd state that now has some form of legalized sports betting.
Now, what's the stats? 33rd state, but 34th jurisdiction because Washington, D.C. is not considered a state. Is that what?
33rd state.
Is that the correct terminology now?
The correct terminology is we have 33 states plus one jurisdiction offering some form of legal sports betting. And it took them a long time to get to the point where everyone could agree on what the bill should actually say. Once they agreed, it passed real quick.
You know, this is an Ohio-themed show. We didn't know this was going to happen. Ohio,
you hope it comes together like this.
We always hope it comes together like this. I mean, when my interview this week is with Michael Crawford. He's the president and CEO of the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company in Canton, Ohio. And I asked him, hey, sports betting is very close at that time for Ohio. Will you have some kind of sports betting partnership? And he said yes. He didn't.
He hinted at it.
He hinted at it. He revealed the terms. I think he said visitors will have a sports betting experience. And it looks like it has come to fruition.
And as everybody knows, the day after the governor of Ohio signed the bill into law, they announced that they had partnered, the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company had partnered with Rush Street Interactive to bring a retail book to the Hall of Fame Village.
How great is that? How
That's
awesome
timing.
is that?
That's timing.
You know? So, Ohio, this show is dedicated to you. And we're going to have a really great show coming up because we have Beatin The House. We have our Week 17 NFL picks. I cannot believe that.
It's rapidly coming to a close.
Oh, wow, I cannot believe this is a blur.
COVID be damned. It's coming to a close.
Yep. Well, and we also have a book report and, of course, my interview with Michael Crawford, president and CEO of the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. Today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
Remember the good old days when you could go to a movie theater and just worry about how much butter you're going to put on the popcorn, what size popcorn, what kind of candy you're going to get, and
that's when you can afford popcorn and sodas and forget about butter. Is that extra at the movie theater?
We've seen movie theaters go from just movies and popcorn and candy and soda to some of them even have restaurants and bars in them now. And now,
I heard there was a couple that you can watch the movie and you get service at your
the restaurants.
It's like they have waiters and waitresses in the movie theater.
Well, you now can.
By the way, it's been so long since I've actually been to a theater to watch a movie. It's been crazy.
Well, it's about, your choices are about to become a lot more complicated, especially if you're in Michigan.
Okay,
actually a suburb of Detroit right now, and you're going to be able to have your choice of popcorn, candy, soda, whatever movie you're going to watch, bar, drinks, whatever, and you're going to be able to bet.
Well,
they're making a sports book inside a movie theater.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Hey, I'm all for sports betting. I'm all for making a buck in sports betting. But
it's a very interesting buck to make.
Wow. It's a. Yeah, see, I hope we're not overdoing it. I remember a couple years ago when we were doing daily fantasy sports, and it just got everywhere, and it got crazy with the ads and things like that, that people just said, okay, enough's enough. I hope that's not going to happen with sports betting when someone says, you know what, that enough's enough.
A lot of people are saying
you're having
enough.
A sports book in a movie theater, that might be too much.
Well, according to WXYZ in Michigan.
WXYZ.
The Imagine Theater in the Royal Oak suburb of Detroit will be opening a Las Vegas-style sports lounge where people can watch sporting events, bet on their mobile devices, and experience the games together. What they're doing...
See, okay.
Let me explain it before
all right.
you go
that's a
into
little different than a sports book with like windows and kiosks.
They are taking an entire movie theater. It's a multiplex.
Okay.
They're taking one of the theaters, and they're changing it into a sports lounge where you can use the big 40-foot screen. And they're going to show at most 8 different events at the same time, sporting events.
Okay.
High-speed internet. They're going to have a tabletop for your laptop or whatever else you got with you.
Okay.
They're doing, like I said, high-speed internet. They're going to have 5.1 cinema surround sound and a dedicated odd screen.
Okay.
All set up. They're taking one of their theaters and making it into a sports lounge. Basically, it's a sports book.
Well, it's not a sports book. This is where I make the distinction here. I mean, I get it. All right.
I get it too.
There aren't any windows. There's no sports book employees taking bets. There are no kiosks where you're taking bets. Look, every place is a sports book if your state has mobile betting.
Yeah.
You could be in church, be at temple, be wherever you're at. I don't care. I'm including everyone here. You can be in the library. You can be whatever. Every place is a sports book if you have mobile betting in your state. So this isn't really that bad. I mean, when you said that, I thought they were going to have a book with windows and tellers and kiosks.
At
and
some
things
point,
like
that's going to happen.
That might be a bridge too far for me. But a lounge. I like this. This is okay.
Well,
you know what? When you bring your kids to some animated show that you just don't want to watch,
you're not going to leave them there.
No, you can walk them to the theater that they're sitting in, and you know what? You check on them and once in a while, but you can always walk next door and check out the game.
Or maybe they'll have like a daycare service.
Whether you're father or mother, there's a lot of women who bet. There's a lot of women who are involved in the sports betting industry. Just drop your kids off at the movie theater, walk next door, the same building, the same theater, and do what you want to do.
The folks at Imagine, that's the name of the theater.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Plan to have this all set up for the first bowl game for Michigan State, December 30th.
That should be fun.
And then they have Central Michigan also playing Boise State in the Arizona Bowl. So they're doing this just in time for a lot of the bowl games that involve Michigan teams.
So, I'm okay with that. I mean, if it's a sports betting lounge, you don't have, like employees taking bets and things like that.
Here's the other thing I saw in all the news articles that I found was very interesting. They were going to do this before a lot of this stuff was happening. They had plans to make a sports lounge in their theater even before, like, the mobile sports betting was passed. Mm-hmm. So I don't know exactly
how well a sports bar.
I don't know how well it would have worked without the mobile betting.
Technically, it's not a sports bar.
It's a sports lounge.
Yeah. Okay. Where there'll be? Is this one of the movie theaters that we talked about before?
Did not say whether they had alcohol.
Okay.
But I'm assuming that's going to be. If they don't have it now, they will be applying for an alcohol license.
For it.
Yes. So
hey, if you're doing it, might as well go all the way. What the hell.
But I think if they do stop short of having tellers and kiosks in the building, I think you actually have something there. That we may see other ones like this.
See, I thought you were going to say they had kiosks or things that. So that might be a little much. But look, I mean, I said, every place is a sports book when you have mobile.
But I will tell you this: it is more dramatic when you say a theater sports book.
Yeah, sure. And you know what? We wouldn't be talking about it if you just said there's going to be a lounge and a theater.
Yeah, because they already have lounges.
All right, whatever.
A lot of them already have lounges.
No, but the way they're marketing it, okay, it'll be talked about.
But technically, you can do this anywhere you have mobile betting anyway.
Sure.
So, but you won't have a dedicated 2-story wall showing the games inside the theater.
They're making it easy for you to place a bet.
Yes.
But,
Exit 2.
The Allied eSports truck is back. Now, you may be wondering why I'm saying that, because you probably don't even know what the heck an Allied eSports truck is.
I have no idea what an Allied eSports truck is.
The Allied eSports truck, according to Allied eSports, is North America's first and only 18-wheel mobile gaming truck Now, I've seen this truck at different bowl games because they were doing this before COVID caused them to stop doing it.
So what do? They have this big truck and they pull up and they open one side of it and you can play these games
It's
there?
a mobile stage where people can go and play different games against each other.
All right.
They also have activations, contests for people who are actually, attending these races. This is for a NASCAR race.
Okay, good.
It's actually for and I'm going to tell you right now, the college football playoff semifinal at the 86th Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Alabama and Cincinnati on December 31st.
I got to tell you, there's so much activity surrounding these bowl games that, the bowl game almost becomes anticlimactic. Such amazing things are happening before and after the game and swirling around the game that, you almost forget there's a football game going on.
This is an 80-foot, 35-ton truck. Has a main stage, a broadcasting booth, a roof deck, and full production capabilities to actually do these eSports events while people are attending these college bowl games. It's a huge truck.
I got to check this out.
And it's going to be a special...
Is this street legal, for God's sake? How big is this thing?
80 foot.
Oh, my God.
This is a special eNASCAR arcade activation. People are going to actually be able to go in and do virtual racing. The iRacing, they're going to have this open to the public where you can actually, if you're a ticket holder to the game, you can actually join in and do a virtual race using the iRacing gear that you actually saw the racers do on TV for the eNASCAR stuff during the pandemic when everything was shut down. So
I'm trying to picture an 80-foot truck.
It's huge. I've seen this.
I shouldn't be surprised at that. Every time I drive in Connecticut, they're towing a mobile home. Every time. I don't know what Connecticut's all about and why there's so many mobile homes that they have to move all around. But I see mobile homes in Connecticut all the time on usually 2-lane highways, which is crazy. So I'm thinking this truck must be as big as one of those mobile homes.
Actually, you know what it's as big as? Going with your Connecticut
analogy,
yes.
Okay.
Remember those trucks that you saw carrying bridge pieces?
Okay.
Those huge things hanging down the road, bigger than the little houses. Those things. It's huge.
All right. I don't remember the bridge pieces, but okay.
But this is going to be they're going to actually have a competition as well between everybody. People are going to be racing against each other. There's even there's supposed to be even racing against some actually professional eSports racers. And it's going to be Twitch showed, and it's going to be part of the HyperX Arena Las Vegas shows, all that stuff. So it's going to be mixed in with a whole bunch of other eSports events.
I'm going to take a look at Allied eSports truck. I'm Googling now.
This is the first time in 8 years they're bringing the truck out. They actually had to mothball it for a while because of what was going on with the pandemic. And it's actually nice to see. This is a good sign.
Oh, this thing is huge.
It's immense. It's immense.
This is enormous. First off, the sides open up and you can pull out.
That's the stage.
Platforms. Yeah.
That's the stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
oh boy.
This is a
Google Allied eSports truck and you can see what Doug's talking about.
It is an amazing piece of machinery.
Oh my God! Look at this thing.
They're bringing it back.
Okay.
And everyone is dying to see this truck again because it is a great attraction at these races.
Yeah, look at this.
Exit 3.
FTX has made a monumental deal. And by that, I mean they made a deal with Monumental Sports and Entertainment.
Okay. All right.
They didn't make this groundbreaking deal. They've been making deals all over the place, FTX.
You said FTX. I'm trying to remember which sport and which team I saw the FTX logo on the jerseys.
Well, you got to narrow that down.
I know. Well, that's what I'm trying to figure.
You have them having the stadium naming rights to the Miami Heat Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
FTX is also on several basketball teams' jerseys.
Yeah.
They're also the main sponsor of the MLB umpire jerseys.
That's where I saw them, umpires. Yeah, I remember. Okay. Boy, I was trying to think basketball and things like that, but you said umpires. Yep, I remember on the umpire jerseys.
These are also the guys that not only are they the umpire sponsors, they're also the MLB official cryptocurrency brand. They also paid $210 million to rebrand an eSports team.
Okay.
So
no, but I know FTX best by looking at the umpires in Major League Baseball and saying, "What the hell are they wearing?" And I just found out
it was their
FTX.
logo.
It's their logo, FTX.
So FTX has gone ahead and done a deal with Monumental Sports and Entertainment. That's Ted Leonsis' organization.
Yeah, mostly down Washington, D.C.,
Yep.
right?
And Monumental also runs the Capitals, the Wizards, the Mystics, and the Capital City Go-Go.
What the hell's that?
That I don't know. I saw
listed
Googled there.
I Googled the truck.
I'm preparing all these other notes, and I saw the Capital City Go-Go. I'm thinking it's got to be some sort of independent sports league.
It's a basketball team.
Must be a G League team or something.
Mike Williams was named head coach of the Capital City Go-Go.
That must be the developmental league team.
I guess it is.
So they've got 4 teams there. They are the official cryptocurrency exchange and non-fungible token partner.
Okay, the Capital City Go-Go. The first thing I'm seeing is they have a game against the Maine Celtics, the Motor City Cruise, the 905 Raptors, Windy City Bulls.
That's the G League.
Westchester Knicks.
Yep, that's the G League.
Okay. So, all right, there we go. Yep, G League. Here we go.
Yep, that's the G League.
Capital City Go-Go versus the NBA G League Ignite.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
As soon as I heard Maine Celtics, I know that's the Boston G League team. But, they're the official cryptocurrency exchange and non-fungible token partner for Monumental Sports and those teams.
All right.
They are the first official partner for Monumental in this area, so it was groundbreaking in that time. That's sort of aspect of everything. But they are also the presenting partner. FTX is the presenting partner for the new in-game highlight series and fan activation called FTX US Big Blockchain.
Okay.
Basically, during the games on the big screen, you see the highlights.
All right.
FTX is going to be sponsoring that.
Well, I was going to say, where can I watch that? Is it like on Facebook or Twitter or something like that?
No, you actually have to buy a ticket, go in, and then you can watch it on the screen.
You have to be in the stadium.
Yes.
Okay.
FTX was also going to be featured on premium, concourse, and arena television networks. So basically, if you're in the stadium or the arena, whatever you want to call it. If you're watching the
FTX
Go-Go
time, you're in FTX world.
If you're watching the Go-Go,
okay,
you're going to see
Capital
FTX.
City Go-Go. You look up and it's FTX,
and you're also going to see it on the sides of the court and everything else. So it's going to be everywhere. The other interesting part about this is they just did a deal with the non-fungible token side of everything.
Who's that? FTX.
FTX. They are now they have the exclusive rights to all future NFT drops by all 4 of these teams.
Oh, there you go.
So that whatever the amount of money spent here,
right there, that was worth the contract.
You figure they paid $21 million a year for the eSports renaming the team to rename their eSports team, that TSM. I wonder how much they paid for this because the financial terms were not disclosed. And that usually means...
it's huge when they're not disclosed.
Yeah.
So it's huge.
Or it could be a completely back-end deal, and they don't want to disclose that either.
Sure.
Because that hurts their other deals.
Well, who knows?
But, you never know. But, again, you have, like I said...
FTX is everywhere now.
Yep. Like I said, we talked about their previous deals. They've also signed Shohei Ohtani as an ambassador.
All right.
Tom Brady and Giselle.
All right.
They have partnered with the Mercedes-AMG Petronas Formula One team, added Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones as another ambassador, and they did all these other deals with the Miami Heat, the Major League Baseball umpire, Major League Baseball itself, and the $21 million a year, 10-year deal with TSM to rename it.
It's weird that I remembered them in terms of the MLB umpires. I don't know. All these deals, all these teams, all these organizations, and I'm thinking, oh, yeah, I remember the umpires.
Well, that just tells you the brand placement is working.
Yeah, well, you know what? The home plate umpire, when I'm watching a baseball game on TV, the home plate umpire is always facing me, so that FTX patch is kind of always in view. Maybe that's it.
Well, I look at brand placement it's all a matter of recall. It doesn't matter where you actually see it.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you actually recall the brand,
well, it made me.
That's the important. That means the branding is working.
How did we start this conversation? I was trying to figure out where have I seen FTX on either what team it was. I didn't think it was the umpires, but no, it's stuck with me.
Exit 4.
Now, I just mentioned Tom Brady.
Yep,
the GOAT. To a lot of people out there, greatest of all time.
I hate that term. I don't know why I hate that term. I hate that term not in terms of Tom Brady, but I hate that term for everyone.
Well, we're going to be talking...
A couple years ago, 10 years ago, if you were a GOAT, you were the worst.
The loser.
Yeah.
Well, right now, we're going to be talking about two GOATs.
Okay.
Tom Brady
all right,
and Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Both have started new business ventures. And these are kind of interesting. One is kind of expected. Tom Brady is launching an apparel line called Brady.
See, I thought he had that TB12 thing. I thought that was the apparel line.
No, TB12 is the health thing with its own apparel.
Oh, so it's his health thing, and that has its own apparel.
That's TB12.
That's TB12.
This is an activewear brand called Brady.
Brady.
And what he has done, he has actually made 10 name, image, likeness deals with collegiate athletes to promote the brand.
Smart. All right.
And it's just...
That's cutting edge, man.
That's actually great thinking because he's
NIL.
taking advantage of...
Nice.
It's also an unknown contract situation, too. You can set up a lot more different things as this industry is starting to form. But he has signed 10 college athletes
all right,
to be the brand ambassadors. And he wants Brady to be like the... what is that? The Airman, the Jordan brand, that kind of thing.
Is that what that logo is called?
That's something like that. It's the Airman or something.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So he is actually launching this new brand, Brady, with Under Armour. As a matter of fact, is one of his partners. Under Armour recently killed their NFL deal. They were doing the on-field clothing for the NFL. They canceled that deal. They got out of it.
Okay.
What they want to do is lifestyle branding, and this is going to be one of their partners.
Oh, okay.
So he is going to be still with Under Armour, but it's not going to be for athletic apparel. It will be for athletic lifestyle apparel.
Okay.
If you want to make a differentiation between those two things, that's fine. I just, it's one of those things where it's going to be just another Brady
something
brand.
You wear to the sports bar, not on the sports field.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Going
okay.
to the stadium, but not in
he's
the
going
stadium.
to use that. He's going to use that slogan too.
If he's listening, he probably will be. But again, he got hockey, basketball, football, all different college athletes, track stars, all that stuff.
That's good. Great.
Now we're going over to Michael Jordan now, who is now starting a new venture with his son Jeffrey.
Okay.
They created a holding company called Air. H-E-I-R.
Okay.
Sort of sounds like Air Jordan.
But this one is
Air Jordan. Yes.
Okay.
Because it's his son.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
The holding company is Air Inc., and the first product is going to be a Web 3.0 platform also called Air.
H-E-I-R.
And this is a platform that will allow professional athletes to actually interact more with their fans.
Well,
than they already do.
That's great.
And it's NFT-based.
NFT-based. What's that mean?
They're going to be called huddles. Each athlete is going to have a different set of huddles.
Which means he talks to a different group of fans.
Only if you purchase a certain level of a NFT.
Okay. All right.
You're going to have...
See, that's pretty cool.
Multi-tiered NFT huddle membership tokens. If you have like a tier 1 kind of thing, you're going to have certain... additional access than you would with other NFTs. There's like 3 tiers that you can buy. Each one's going to be valued at different, and they're all going to be priced upon the popularity of the athlete itself. If one athlete's more popular than another, all his NFTs are going to be different than the other guy's prices for his NFTs.
I got to get into the NFT thing. Everyone has NFTs.
I actually am curious.
Unbelievable.
I'm actually very curious about this Web 3.0. More so than the NFT. The NFTs, they've been around for a while now, but the Web 3.0 is it's a mixture of what the web is right now, where it's interactive with humans creating content and everything. It's going to use machine learning and language to help create that content with you. It's a more interactive web.
Okay.
So it's going to be machine thinking along with what the person interacting with it is going to be doing. It's going to be more intuitive.
Isn't this how Skynet started? We're going to have Terminators now?
Pretty much.
Okay.
But
they'll think for themselves.
I don't see my laptop getting up and walking away anytime soon. So, but we have 2 goats, 2 ventures.
All right. Sounds like fun.
Yep.
And today's Trip Down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
And as always, you can get in touch with Turnpike Sports by calling or texting us at 609-512-5910. That's 609-512-5910. At Turnpike Sports is the show's handle on Facebook and Twitter. At Turnpike Sports Radio is our handle on Instagram. And as always, our email address is info@turnpikesportsradio.com. And don't forget, you can listen to the show via Spotify, Amazon Music, iTunes, radio.com mobile app, as well as Stitcher and YouTube. You can also watch us on your smart TV, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Head on over to turnpikesports.net. You'll be able to watch our video channel there.
Well, we got a great show coming up for you. We got Beatin The House segment. We got a Week 17 NFL picks. I can't believe it's Week 17. We have a book report. But coming up right after this, I'm talking with Michael Crawford, President and CEO of Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. He's going to talk about an incredible project he's creating right across the street. I shouldn't say right across the street, right in the vicinity. I don't know if it's across the street.
But there will be probably a street
somewhere. But it's right in the vicinity surrounding the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's just an incredible, incredible property, and it'll bring amazing things to the city of Canton, Ohio, and we're going to hear all about it when I talk with Michael Crawford coming up right after this. So stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore.
Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code
SPICE404.
They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more.
Private shopping starts at adamandeve.com.
Today's Trip Down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. What should be on the bucket list for any sports fan in the world is a visit to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. I was there years ago, and I thought this place couldn't get any better, and boy, was I wrong. And what the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company created in Canton surrounding the Hall of Fame is just incredible. And to tell us all about the amazing things happening in Canton, we have on the line Michael Crawford, who is the president and CEO of the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company. Michael, thank you for joining us.
No, thanks for having me. It's my pleasure.
I got to tell you, I am amazed at what your company has created and is in the process of creating in Canton. But for people who aren't familiar with your company, what is the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, many years ago, there was this idea, or this concept, I should say, of creating a destination around the Pro Football Hall of Fame, much like Disneyland has done around Cinderella's castle, right? And you could create a place for people to come and stay and play extending their visit, having an opportunity to really understand what's in the Hall of Fame, really digest all of the different artifacts, and really immerse yourself in the sport of professional football. Along the way, we started to think about other activities that could be created here as well. Things like youth sports, as an example. Why not leverage some of the greatest to ever play the game to come out and do training sessions or coaching sessions? Why not have big tournaments here or clinics here? So, there was a vision for this quite some time ago. I came in December of 2018. I had spent about 25 years with the Walt Disney Company, sort of designing and developing and operating these destination resorts all over the world for Disney, which was absolutely fantastic. And then I spent another 4.5 years with Four Seasons Hotels and Resorts as their president, thinking about how to extend, their brand into different businesses. And what immediately hit me was we were probably not thinking broadly enough about what we could do beyond just creating some assets around the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What we could do with the intellectual property that the Hall of Fame contains, those artifacts, the memorabilia, the players themselves, could be pretty special, and sort of that old Disney background kicked in a little bit. And so the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company was a strategy that I put forward to the then shareholders. It was a private company, to create media out of some of that intellectual property, stories that had never been told, some about the players, some about the team, some about the history of the game. There's never been a greater demand for content and sport content and football content than there is today. People were engaging with professional football in different ways, fantasy and e-gaming, and certainly sports betting. Those kinds of different type of gaming opportunities was another piece of that strategy. And then last but not least, of course, creating the destination. And that's what we've been doing, is standing up all three of those business verticals to really create a company that is pretty powerful in terms of what it can do storytelling wise, what it can do experience wise, both virtual and three-dimensional, and allow our guests and fans to be immersed in the great sport of football, but also just sport in general. So we've been honored to be able to do that. We went public last year in July of 20. Not the best time to do it in the middle of a global health pandemic, but we've accomplished a lot over the last year, and I've certainly been proud of the team and everything they've been able to do.
Every article I've been reading about this project has just been more and more impressive. I want to first start asking you about the destination itself. I read something, it's called the Hall of Fame Village. When you say the Hall of Fame Village, what is that, and what can visitors expect to experience when they visit it?
Sure. So the village itself, as I was saying earlier, is a set of assets that we've built in phases. The first phase already being completed. We built a world-class professional football stadium / performance arena, I like to refer to it as. And it's 23,000 seats, 2 jumbotrons, great press box, suites, all of the high-level amenities that new stadiums are being built with right here in Canton, Ohio, and it sits adjacent to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And we host, of course, the preseason kickoff to the NFL here, the Hall of Fame game. Our enshrinees, new class of enshrinees being inducted into that stadium, concerts, festivals, many other types of sporting events as well. This year we've had the Ohio State Football Championships, Ohio High School State Football Championships, Black College Football Hall of Fame Kickoff Classic. And we're hosting this week the Division III Collegiate National Championship here. So that was a really important component in phase one, to give us a high quality sort of performance venue, if you will, to build a slate of events that would be worthy of people coming and seeing from at least regionally, if not around the country. We built several youth fields, youth sport fields, synthetic turf fields that we've been playing. Literally hundreds of thousands of kids every year come and play any number of soccer, rugby, football type tournaments here, coaching clinics, et cetera. Those have been hugely successful. And then, of course, the Hall of Fame itself. We also spent a lot of time acquiring a couple hundred acres of land that we could then start to create the destination with an on-site hotel, football-themed water park, a fan engagement zone that will have great partnerships like Top Golf and Don Shula's and eSports Entertainment Group. So we've now started to build phase 2, which is a collection of assets that will allow us to entertain our guests, allow them to dine and play and stay with us. And that's set to be completed by the end of 2023. Now, a good percentage of that, though, will be completed by mid next year. Our Center for Performance, our indoor field house / convention center. We've just completed our Center for Excellence. This is a really cool asset where, thought leadership, incubating great ideas, places for people to collaborate on things that will have influence on sport and things that, will have influence on just general doing good for people. And so that is now completed, and we'll start to move in tenants into that facility early next year. And then the retail promenade that I spoke about, the fan engagement zone, we've put up all the steel, we're enclosing those boxes, and that'll be open sometime July of next year. And then we've got this great outdoor play area called Play Action Plaza.
Wow.
Play on words.
Yeah.
And this will have a couple of outdoor rides. It'll have outdoor bar, I think, sort of pre-function area, tailgate area, concerts, small sort of amphitheater, and a couple of rides. So, a lot of things now where people can come and stay and enjoy a 2 or 3 day visit, whereas before they would come and enjoy a visit to the Hall of Fame and stay with somebody else and play with somebody else while they were here.
Michael, you mentioned the Center for Performance Complex, and I read an article about that. You're building a dome over that facility?
Yeah, what better type of architectural statement to make, at a sports-themed destination than a world-class dome. And I use that word a couple of times, world-class, but we really have gone out and partnered with one of the best dome creators / builders in the country. And we've cleared the land. We've started pouring the foundations. Surprisingly, domes don't take a long time to put up. And so that should be up and ready to go again, hopefully before next enshrinement. And we look forward to having a lot of different events in there. That helps us, year round with capacity, both sport and non-sport capacity. So that was an important component of this development.
Reading all this, and I found it's such an incredible idea to do this right next to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. When you approached the Pro Football Hall of Fame, what was their response to this? Were they, let's do everything in the world, or did they really work with you guys in coming up with some of the concepts?
Yeah, I think it evolved over time. The original concept was build a hotel close to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, maybe a restaurant or two, and you could have a nice little set of experiences that complemented why people were coming here to, understand and visit where the best to ever play the game are enshrined. I think it grew over time out of, partnership with the city. Certainly the mayor and the community here had a vision for this being an economic driver, for the city. And so they've supported it. The state, the county have supported it to an extent that, legislation, rezoning, financial support, all of those things have been given because I think they realize, we're in Ohio, surrounded by states that go through difficult times every year during the winter, and looking for places to visit and stay and play is important for people and their quality of life. So this can have an impact on a community. And it evolved over time to become more of this destination concept that had a lot of adjacent experiences, not just about football, but about things that could really bring new life and different types of thought process to, this community and create opportunity, as I said, for economic growth as well.
Give us a sense of how much you will work with the Pro Football Hall of Fame in the future, because like I told you off the air, I was there years ago, and I think it was 2005. And I wish something like what you're doing was there, because don't get me wrong, Canton is a great city, but after visiting the Pro Football Hall of Fame, I was really looking for something more to do. How much will you work with the Pro Football Hall of Fame going forward?
I think you said it. And I don't think there's any, question about it that Canton has done a lot of amazing things to impact the sport of professional football. It was invented here, right? And the owners originally met here, and the idea of a league was conceived here. I think we will work daily with them, and we already are. There's new leadership at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and Jim Porter, he's now president of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I think he's very energized around what we can do together. The sum of the parts is greater than the whole. And I think, we have a chance to impact them and their growth and attendance and give them an opportunity to evolve the product and make it even better. And they have an opportunity to impact us with the intellectual property they have and the brand that they carry. We have a license agreement with them to have the rights to use their brand and to leverage that content that I talked about to build a company. They're a significant shareholder in our company, in the public company. And so, we meet and talk about things that are synergistic opportunities to grow both. And, of course, they're a non-for-profit, but our goal is to help them create a special place, a special destination, and more of a home for the Hall of Famers themselves. That's something that's been very important to me since I've been here, is to have an impact every time the Hall of Famers come back and their families, to feel like something is even bigger and better to honor them and their legacy.
Now, recently, you just announced a partnership with ASM Global. Can you tell us about that deal and what people can expect as a result of that deal?
Yeah, we've announced a lot of new partnerships. ASM is certainly one of the better opportunities for us in terms of creating new talent, creating new opportunities for concerts and festivals. They're really world-class partners when it comes to booking those types of talents and those types of activities in the venues that we have. And so we signed a partnership with them to bring us, world-class acts, performers, festivals, and we're looking forward. We've already started that work to really bringing some of that to life in 22 and beyond. With COVID, it was still a tricky year for us. A lot of protective measures in place. I think still there is a mentality for some of being cautious and not coming back to the big social environments as quickly. Although I will say it was great to see full stadiums or nearly full stadiums across the country. I think people really want and need that social interaction. But ASM is just done this, in so many big venues, and they have an ability to create talent booking that, for us to do on our own, we would really struggle with for a while. And so we wanted to have that kind of partnership to augment our team and to bring in the type of experiences that our guests want and deserve to have while they're here.
When do you plan to have these events and festivals start up? Is it you're shooting for the summer, or will it be earlier than that?
I think it could be earlier than that. We target sort of late spring. You always have to grapple with the weather here in Northeast Ohio. And until we have the Center for Performance, we don't really have a big indoor facility that we can book talent into, or festivals or conventions into. Once we have that changes the dynamic and allows us to think about it more year round. But certainly, sort of late spring, summertime is the target, and through the fall. Surprisingly, we still do acts, into the Thanksgiving time frame, weather providing. But we're going to try to maximize the experience best we can for our guests coming to our stadium, and then certainly look to book those types of activities and events in the indoor capacity that we're building.
I want to ask you about another deal you made, and that's with CommScope. So we know state-of-the-art technology will be involved at the Hall of Fame Village. What does this deal with CommScope mean for visitors for the Hall of Fame Village?
Yeah, it's exactly that. I mean, they're world-class in what they do as well. They are a partner that brings to the table innovative technology that really empowers our guests to own the experience, to have an experience the way they want to have an experience. Sort of the back end, in terms of how guests engage with our social environments that we're creating is really important. How it all comes together from a connective tissue point of view. You don't want to leave one experience and go to another and have to start all over again with the process of entering your information or new payment method or those types of things. And so, our goal with CommScope, our goal with our partner at Johnson Controls, is to create a very seamless environment through technology that our guests can come in and experience and enjoy. And I think that's what people are expecting now. When you arrive at a destination, Wi-Fi is table stakes, right? That's something that everybody expects to have access to, and they expect it to work no matter how many people are in the stadium or at your destination. But they want to be able to pay seamlessly. They want to have frictionless or contactless experience. You think about the health pandemic, that's really brought more of that to light. And partners like CommScope are really going to enable us to deliver that kind of experience.
Another incredible thing you're having at the Hall of Fame Village is a Helix eSport complex, which will be operated by the eSports Entertainment Group. We just had Grant Johnson on, the EEG CEO, on the show in the past, and he's doing some amazing things, and I love the fact that he's coming out to Canton, Ohio. Tell us something about that, and what is your plan for that facility? I mean, will you host tournaments there? Will it be open to the eSports teams across the country? What are your plans for the eSports complex?
Yeah, we look at esports much like we do our youth sports complex. And what I mean by that is fans engage with sport, football, or sport in general in many different ways. And esports has become such a prominent way for these virtual players to really engage and enjoy whatever sport or whatever activity they'd like to do and play competitively and not have to be on a field to do it or in an arena. And they can play people from all over the world. And so the popularity there has grown tremendously. I've always said, part of our strategy is to be where guests and fans are already spending their time and really engaging with the kind of product and the environments that we can create. Grant and I have become good friends. I think the world of him. Sharp guy. His company is doing fantastic things. We were honored to have the opportunity to sign a partnership with EEG. Having them here really will create a new environment for our fans and bring new guests to the destination. And, what I mean by that is certainly tournaments, but an educational component to how esports and e-gaming works, is something we're very focused on. There is a lot of, as you probably can guess, a lot of esport activity now at the high school level and certainly at the collegiate level, where we think we can create a facility that will allow them to come in and be immersed in an environment that will have them, be very competitive and productive at the sport that they're playing virtually or the activity that they're playing. And so we look at it as a great attendance driver, but we also look at it as a key component to our strategy, in terms of being where fans are spending their time and how they're engaging with sport. And so we were really appreciative, and we're starting to work with Grant's team now on the final design of that facility to have it, hopefully up and running by the time that enshrinement comes next year.
Doing research for this interview, I was looking at the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, and you are just doing so many amazing things. Especially, you have a fantasy sports league. I mean, it's called the Hall of Fantasy League. Can you tell us something about that? Because it's such a great idea, and I hope all fantasy players get involved with it.
We launched it this year. We based it on the NFL franchise model. I was really excited to have the opportunity. This was a company that we acquired as we went public called the Crown League. I felt strongly that it was a really unique fantasy experience. Not everybody understands fantasy. Frankly, I'll admit to the fact that it's a little overwhelming for me from a time perspective. I don't have the time to engage with trades and drafts and other things. It's really cool. Yeah. I think it's something that so many people enjoy. I have a ton of friends that, continue to ask me to be a part of their leagues, and I've shied away from it. And this model really took advantage of a couple of things that I felt like the world was in need of. One, people love to be in they love to be in social environments and engaging in communal activities, just like sitting in the stands when you're watching a game. Now you can be a part of a team, right? And these teams are, like I said, the NFL model where we have 10 teams. They're geographic based. They have front offices. The second part that I thought was really an opportunity for us were the front offices, populating them with professional fantasy sports players, people who have run professional leagues, but also complementing them with coaches that were professional football players. And so we've been really lucky to get some great ex-football players as part of the front offices to really help shape and guide the teams and make them more competitive. And, these guys are ultra competitive amongst themselves. So that's made it even more fun. And then taking advantage again of our access to Hall of Famers, Terrell Davis became our commissioner. And so we're running this league. These teams play each other virtually every single week. There is a full season. There are playoffs. There's a championship. We launched an online merchandise store. The teams have really cool names and brands: the Chicago Hog Mollies, the Ohio Goats, the LA Sidekicks, the Texas Yawlers. It's a lot of fun. And so what it does is it gives both the player who just likes playing fantasy a different model to really engage with, but it also gives these novice like myself a way to be a part of the fantasy environment. And we did a partnership with Stake Kings. So basically, players go on and they stake or back a team. And if their team wins, they get a multiple of their staking. So if they come in first place, they get 6x what they staked. So if their staking was $1,000, they'd get $6,000 back. And second place, you get 2 times your staking. And third, you get your money back. So it's been an incredible opportunity for us to launch that as a company. A whole bunch of learnings, a lot of great feedback, and we're looking forward to continuing to evolve it. We've got 2 apps that people play on. It's mobile, it's communal, it's everything I think that fantasy has been needing, and we're looking forward to continuing that and taking it to the next level.
How can people become involved with the Hall of Fantasy League? Do they just go to your website and sign up, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's multiple ways, right? They can go to our websites. The Hall of Fame Village website will have a connective opportunity that you can, link to the Hall of Fantasy League. You can download our apps, both in the App Store and for Apple and also the Android model. And it's just the Hall of Fantasy League, and you can download the app. I love the app because it allows me to play and look at where I'm at, and I've staked and backed all of the teams. Of course, I have to remain non-biased, but it's a lot of fun, and that's how they can get there. And now we're in the middle of the season, so staking has stopped for the regular season, but just a little secret, we're contemplating maybe a staking tournament for the postseason. So that's another way. We'll be talking about that probably a bit more in the future.
You guys have a great website, and if people want to check it out, it's hofreco.com, and it has a ton of information about the company. One thing I also noticed when I visited the website is that you have a first-of-its-kind NFT collection called Playbooks. And I think if you're a football fan of any age, you'll be interested in something like this. Can you tell us something about the Playbooks NFTs?
Well, we looked at where, again, that model of where guests are spending their time, and in this case, their money, and really valuing digital collectible assets. And NFTs have been around, these non-fungible tokens, for quite some time. There just hasn't been an organization around it. And as I've said multiple times, when you have access to great intellectual property, direct access to it that no one else has, you have a valuable commodity. And so we as a team reacted pretty quickly, and we signed a partnership deal with Dolphin Entertainment. They're really great at the creative space and the marketing space, and launched a collection of NFTs over the last several months with multiple different players, each player having multiple different cards. And these cards, I really believe, are the best in class out there today in terms of the quality of the product and the experience that you have buying them. And, we have learned a whole bunch. We were first to move in the market. Distribution is still evolving. We're looking at how we continue to make the accessibility of our cards even easier for our guests to purchase. We have sold literally thousands of them now, which is fantastic. There is a demand for this product. I think there's a lot of different companies trying to figure this space out. You've seen DraftKings, you've seen Tom Brady, you've seen the Mannings. Others have kind of gotten into this space. The one thing that you need, which we have, is content, and the ability to be creative around that content and then find the right distribution channels is really what's going to make this a success. So I've talked a little bit about this being like, one of those old charcoal briquette grills, right? You throw on a bunch of lighter fluid and the flames go really high. I think this is going to settle out over the next several months, And what's going to be left are people that have high quality product that's easily accessible. And I think we're going to be one of those for sure.
Well, nowadays you can't talk about sports and entertainment without talking about sports betting. I know leagues and teams are all making deals with sportsbook operators, and I know Ohio recently passed their sports betting legislation. Is sports betting in the plans for the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company in the future?
It absolutely is.
Yep.
100%. Our goal is to have a sports betting experience, both a physical experience at the destination, the village, and a virtual experience as well. We think, betting has become a very mainstream way in which fans really enjoy and embrace and really immerse themselves into the game. When you were a kid and you bet your friend $5 on a game, it made that game a heck of a lot more entertaining. And now the way the technology is working, you can do these types of bets very real time. And so, our goal, our strategy has always been to ensure that as a company based on sports and entertainment, that we're in places and providing our guests and our fans the right experiences. Ohio has been surrounded by states that have had legalized sports betting for multiple years now. It was encouraging to see the bill get passed. It's sitting, I think, now on the governor's desk.
Yep.
What we wanted to do and what I've said in previous calls was to have identified a partner, if not multiple, that when legalized sports betting was there, that we would be in a position to take full advantage of it and to give our guests the confidence that we would have the experiences that they'd like to have while visiting us or virtually while they're anywhere else in Ohio. We've done just that. I think we can't put the cart before the horse here. Okay. We got to make sure that it does become legal. There's a process that the state will run. But I'm very confident that, once this happens, we'll be in a position to take advantage of it from a company point of view, meaning drive significant revenue to our shareholders, our company, but also from an experience point of view. And I truly believe if you create great experiences, the revenue and the other, financial benefits will follow. People genuinely want high quality experiences. They want accessible experiences. And that's been our goal all along. And look, we've only been in this business for just a little over a year. So I think the team has done a tremendous job, positioning us with things like NFTs and the potential for sports betting and eSports deal and all of the development that's occurred here on site and even media. We've signed some great media deals that will really yield for us great benefit and for our guests and fans, great stories for them to see.
Well, you've anticipated my next question with regard to sports betting. Even though it may not be legal just yet in Ohio, it doesn't preclude any companies for making deals down the road. It sounds like you are in that process right now. When can we expect some announcements with regard to the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company and sports betting, and what deals you have made or what partnerships with sportsbook operators you will be dealing with?
Well, it's a fair question. I think we want to make sure that, the final bill is passed into law so that there are no, how legislation sometimes works. Sure. The last minute, there's some tweaks and adjustments that are made. So we have to be careful not to, sign deals that may need to be adjusted shortly thereafter. Having said that, we've been working on this for many months. We've worked with legislators, we've worked with consultants, lobbyists, to really make sure we were tracking and our thought process for our company and our guests and fans was going to be aligned to deliver the kind of experience with the kinds of partners that they would expect us to have available. My hope, my goal is to, after the final bill is passed into law, that we would be shortly thereafter talking about what it means to us, the partnerships that we potentially have and have put in place, and the kinds of experiences that we anticipate having. It still will run a process over the next several months, but our intention is to announce something well prior to that.
In the coming year, when people visit Canton, what can they experience at the Hall of Fame Village? And do you have plans on more special events and activities in the coming months?
We do, and I'll start there. I mean, what they can expect is a fully, planned, a very robust slate of events, both sport and non-sport events. They can plan on hosting meetings here, conventions here. We work very closely with the Visitors Bureau here and the city and others to, maximize the opportunity, not just for us, but for the city. You will see a brand new set of assets completed for them to enjoy, new dining experiences, new entertainment experiences, indoor experiences to, help with the weather that we incur here several months out of the year. So, the ability to come and spend a day, 2 days for sure will now be available come mid-22, and we're excited about that. We acquired a hotel, by the way, downtown Canton, and we renovated that last year and opened it. It's doing quite well. We branded it a Hilton Doubletree, and it allows us to offer those kinds of stay and play packages. And as we add more of the play component, the stay really starts to get more highly demanded. So I would anticipate, if I was a guest, coming here and being wowed. You will still see construction because we won't stop with phase 2. We have a phase 3 on the books, and we're going through the final planning and thought process to, really determine the phase 3 assets. But all the things I spoke about earlier, a great percentage of those will be done for our guests to enjoy. Hopefully they can play some eSports. Hopefully they could make a wager sometime next year. Hopefully they'll be able to have, dining experiences that are unique to this region and really just have an atmosphere for them to come and enjoy with outdoor entertainment and events and other things year round.
Michael, we're running out of time, but can you give out a website where people can go and check out the incredible things the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company is up to and what visitors can experience at the Hall of Fame Village?
Yeah, I mean, the Hall of Fame Village, of course, is separate from the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company.
Okay.
The Hall of Fame Entertainment Company, you gave out that website, HOFRECO.com. And the Hall of Fame Village, powered by Johnson Controls, is the destination that you can go to, HOFvillage.com. And that's where you'll be able to see all of these different events. You'll be able to be updated on construction progress. You'll see the calendar for events that are upcoming, all the news around partnerships and other deals that we've signed with sponsors. So very informative, and it's getting better and better all the time. And as I said, it has connections to our Hall of Fantasy League. It has connections to our social environments on Twitter, on Facebook, Instagram. So we're trying to be where guests really consume information, and we're trying to make our website and social environments more active for people to enjoy.
Michael Crawford, President and CEO of Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, thank you so much for coming on and telling us about the great things you're doing in Canton, Ohio. I am definitely planning a trip out there because what you and your company have built out there seems like an incredible experience for sports fans. So thanks for coming on and telling us about it.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Look forward to coming back and giving you more updates, but really appreciate you having me, and happy holidays to everybody.
You too. Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Yeah, you, come here. Haven't you heard? We don't need to hide anymore. Now, we can shop privately for adult products at adamandeve.com. They've got massage oils, lingerie, and lots more we can't mention here.
Use offer code SPICE404. They'll give you 50% off almost any one item, 3 free DVDs, free mystery gift, and free shipping. That's 50% off, free shipping, and more.
Private shopping starts.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Beatin The House is brought to you by BetMGM Casino. Play your favorite casino games at BetMGM Online Casino. Slots, table games, live dealer games, everything you love about Atlantic City and Vegas, all online at BetMGM. Don't wait. Join in the fun now. Go to BetMGM Casino, create an account using our promo code Turnpike, and become a verified player. New players get $25 free when signing up, plus a first deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code Turnpike at BetMGM.com for a 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus $25 free. Grab a lion's share of the fun at BetMGM.com. Must be 21 years or older to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's edition of Beatin The House, where we talk about the jackpots that occur within the casinos, with lottery, with bad beat poker jackpots. We talk about basically any time you win a huge sum of money in a weird way, we're going to talk about it. We're going to start off in New Jersey.
Okay.
Borgata Online Casino.
Didn't we do Borgata last week?
For the second time in 2 months.
All right, okay.
We have a Borgata Online Casino player winning more than $1 million. This lady, identified only as Amy H.
Okay.
Congratulations, I'm assuming
Amy.
It's a lady just by the word Amy there.
Yeah.
Amy H. has won $2.2 million colossal jackpot dollars.
All right. Is that a slot machine, colossal jackpot?
She was playing the Bison Fury slots title.
The Bison Fury.
Now, that's not the Buffalo Grand.
I got to ask you, what's the deal with all the Buffalo and Bison on slot machines? Is there some kind of Lucky
Nickels?
Charm kind of thing going on with
Buffaloes?
I'm not
think
sure
of Buffalo Nickels.
Everything's Buffalo.
And also,
Buffalo or Bison?
If you think about it, Buffalo Stampede, so that's an easy sound effect to do when you do a jackpot. You know?
I was playing a Buffalo game on Borgata the other night. I can't remember the name of it. I don't think it was Bison Fury. But, no, there's a lot of Buffalo slot machines.
Well, the first ones, the actual Buffalo Grand brand,
Okay.
whatever you want to call it, by Aristocrat, is actually being, I don't want to say copied, but emulated by other companies that are doing similar stuff. You know when something is really popular, somebody does something similar.
Sure.
So that's kind of what's going on with some of these things. And also...
So this one was won in a Bison Fury slot.
Bison Fury.
Okay.
Let's see, it was $2.2 million. The one you're talking about was, I don't have it here in my notes.
I think it was like
3.2 or something like that. But according to BetMGM, they have paid more than $13 million in jackpots in the last 12 months.
Wow. Well, we had 2 big ones in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way...
2 months.
2 months, yeah. But speaking of Borgata, what was that? Borgata Bingo.
Borgata Bingo
has been all over the TV in New Jersey. With, I think I've seen 3 commercials in an hour for Borgata Bingo, and I finally tried it out. It's kind of fun. Yeah, it's pretty fun. It's basically Keno.
It's the first Entain developed game for the system.
Okay, so it was fun.
That's why it's unique. It's totally theirs.
It was a lot of fun. They have 75 ball bingo and 90 ball bingo. That's the
uniqueness of it. That's what they have.
Yeah, usually
75 and 90. Usually it's just 90.
I know Tropicana and I know Virgin casinos have 90 ball bingo, but Borgata has 75 ball and 90 ball bingo. So it was pretty fun.
Yeah, and there's links to it up on our site. So
okay, good.
Yeah, so
I'm glad I brought it up.
Please try it.
Yeah,
especially through our links.
Yeah, give it. Yeah, do we have a code that we have to give out or something like that? Yeah, but use our links. Go to turnpikesportsradio.com and use the link. Play bingo.
Let's stay in New Jersey for even more jackpots.
All right.
I actually find this kind of interesting to dig through this because the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement releases on a weekly basis an updated list of jackpots that have occurred throughout the year. And, some of these are kind of interesting, and you start noticing certain casinos pay out more than other casinos.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Case in point, we're going to stay with Borgata, but these are the brick and mortar.
More Borgata, huh?
Brick and mortar Borgata.
Brick and mortar Borgata.
On December 10th, we had a $1 bet paying out a $209,000 jackpot.
Wow.
Playing IGT's Mystical Mermaid. There's another new one.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. But a $1 bet giving you over $200,000? Wow.
On December 8th, a player won $103,425 on a 5-cent bet.
How do you do a 5-cent bet?
Don't ask me. I've never played 5-cent.
I mean,
I've never put one nickel in.
Even if you play a 1-cent machine, you're still betting because you're playing different lines. I mean,
according
I can't believe
to
a 5-cent bet.
According to what it was, the denomination was 5 cents. It could actually have been more than what they put in, but according to the spreadsheet that was sent out there, it was a 5-cent bet. Usually they put out multi-denomination kind of thing.
Yeah, 5-cent bet.
But it was call it a nickel machine. How about that? That makes it sound better.
All right, fine.
But it's the Every Smokin' Hot Stuff Wicked Wheel.
I have no earthly clue what that is. What is that?
The Smokin' Hot Stuff Wicked Wheel by Every.
Every Smokin' Hot Stuff Wicked Wheel.
Yes.
All right.
And on December 3rd, and we've heard this game before, IGT's Triple Double Diamond.
Yep.
$100 bet paid out $216,000. Not to be outdone, we have a Hard Rock, brick and mortar Hard Rock payout.
Atlantic City.
$5 bet playing Bally's Double Jackpot Triple Blazing Sevens paid out $100,100.
All right.
And now we're going to move down south to Florida. Tampa, Florida, to be exact. We've got a jackpot being reported by the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. A lucky Clearwater, Florida resident, so it's sort of a local. Gloria visited the Seminole Hard Rock Hotel, Tampa, and won a $1.24 million jackpot while playing Aristocrats' Dragon Link progressive slot game.
Dragon Link progressive slot machine.
That's another one.
All right, I haven't heard that. I'm writing these down, by the way. So,
this was a $50 bet to win the $1.24 million.
Wow. I don't think I've ever put $50 at one time into a slot machine. So.
No, I've never had the urge to do that.
No.
But she won it after, let's see. Ooh, she won it after a couple pulls.
Okay.
I guess you can call them pulls anymore. Push button, whatever you want to call
push
it.
A button. I guess you can pull some of them.
I guess some of the older ones. I don't know about these new ones.
Still have the arms.
Aristocrat, really. I haven't seen too many one-armed bandits from Aristocrat. How's that for an old-fashioned term? But she won $1.24 million on a $50 bet. The 642 other slot players at the casino, within 15 minutes of the jackpot, each won a $100 bonus free play.
Because of the jackpot?
Because of the jackpot.
That's pretty cool.
Seminole gave them a $100 each, everybody playing, so they handed out, another $6,400 in slot play?
See, I'm not even lucky enough to be in the same room when someone wins a jackpot, so I never get those things.
Well, I guess now that some of the restrictions are being lifted, you can probably start heading back to some of the casinos. I know
I've been to casinos.
The Philly casinos now, you have to have all your vaccination proof and all that stuff. And I don't know what a lot of the other casinos. We got to wait and see what's happening with that. But the progressive jackpot at the Hard Rock Hotel is actually tied into all the Seminole properties. You have the Hard Rock Hotel Casino Hollywood, Tampa, and the Seminole Coconut Creek Casino. So they're all tied in together. She won the entire state progressive.
And that's Gloria, right?
That's Gloria.
She gave out her first name.
And the second $1 million jackpot to hit on the Dragon Link slot machine at a Seminole property.
Oh, wow.
In less than 60 days.
Okay.
According to the Seminole Hard Rock Tampa, they have paid out over $1.5 billion in jackpots to more than 55,000 individuals thus far in 2021. And we're ending the year, so I would assume maybe a couple thousand more is going to be added onto that before the end of the year.
But what was the slot again? Dragon Link?
Aristocrat Gaming's Dragon Link Progressive Slot Machine.
Okay, yeah, I'll look for it.
And they have awarded over 564,000 jackpots this year.
That's Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Okay.
It equates to over a jackpot paid per minute.
Okay.
Yeah, they went the extra mile and did the math.
Okay.
They did the math for everybody. Let's stay on the East Coast and go up to Yonkers.
Oh, Yonkers. Have we had one from Yonkers lately?
I believe we had one 2-3 months ago. It was the Guardian Angel one, where the guy said, somebody go ahead and play that machine.
Oh, that was at Empire City?
That was at Empire City.
All right. It's Empire City Casino.
We have a Westchester resident was playing the IGT Wheel of Fortune Triple Star slot machine. There's another iteration of the Wheel of Fortune game. I've never seen the Triple Star slot machine.
Well, yeah, like I always say, Wheel of Fortune pays out. You know.
Well, White Plains resident James S. put a $20 bet into the machine and won $585,532.
Good for him.
He said according to the press release, it took a few lucky pulls playing the maximum bet of $20 before hitting it big. So he probably spent $100.
So again,
maybe more than that.
Is that one of those really huge machines with the big against the wall kind of thing?
From what I understand,
reaches
the
ceiling?
Triple Stars is not a cabinet.
Not a cabinet?
No, it's one of the smaller ones.
I was looking for that word cabinet. I couldn't think of the word cabinet.
Well, it's not a cabinet, but it's one of the, I think, 60, 70 iterations of the Wheel of Fortune slot machine.
Yeah. Okay.
So congratulations to James S. from White Plains. Going over out west to Arizona. Glendale, Arizona. I don't think we've had an Arizona one.
That's why I was going. We don't have a lot from Arizona.
We've had lottery from Arizona.
We've
never had a slot jackpot from Arizona. One lucky slots player is going to have a very happy holiday after winning $159,493 on a Grand Progressive slot jackpot at the Diamond Desert West Valley Casino.
Wow.
He was playing, or I actually can't say it was a he because they did not even disclose any part of the person's name. They were playing the Rake and Bacon slot machine.
What's Rake and Bacon? Do they describe it?
I went out and looked at it.
Okay. All right.
I had to because it's just a funny name.
When it has bacon, does it mean there's a pig involved or something?
Cornsquelius.
Cornsquelius?
Yes.
That's the
golden
character?
pig. The adorable golden pig.
Cornsquelius, the golden pig.
Basically, he is a piggy bank because the more bonuses you win, the bigger he gets. And it gets to a certain point where he just explodes, and that's when you win your money.
Okay.
So you are killing a pig.
Yeah, Cornsquelius.
Yes, to get your money from the Rake and Bacon slot machine. But congratulations to the unknown player there, $159,000. They did not say what the size of the bet was for this one.
Okay.
Going over to Las Vegas now. We have, I can't call this a bad beat jackpot. It's a mega jackpot on 3-card poker at the Flamingo.
Ah, classic hotel.
And actually a classic table game now, too. 3-card poker's everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
He won a mega jackpot of $946,945.
Wow.
He was a frequent 3-card poker player, and he says he visits Las Vegas all the time because he loves the city.
Great. Loves it even more now.
Yes. And according to the press release, he will share his winnings and do his lifelong dream of retiring with his lucky charm, his wife.
Oh, that's nice.
Just a little note on the Flamingo. The Flamingo Las Vegas is celebrating their 75th anniversary.
That's what I said. It's a classic hotel casino. You know, you have to go there.
They're going to be doing.
When you visit Las Vegas, you have to go to the Flamingo.
They're going to be doing anniversary-themed offers for hotel, spa, wedding packages, all that stuff through the end of December because of their anniversary. Last but not least for this episode of Beatin the House, we are going back to Jersey.
Oh, okay.
We started in Jersey. We're ending in Jersey. Jack Pocket. We actually just did a story on Jack Pocket not too long ago.
Jack Pocket is the lottery app.
The lottery app.
Right? You can buy your lottery tickets over through Jackpocket, right?
They just recently, I would say within the last month, if not maybe a month and a half, 2 months, they just announced they had the largest lottery jackpot ever through a mobile app.
Yeah, it was like $1 million bucks.
No, it was like 3.4.
3.4 million.
Yeah, yeah, it was huge. Just on December 4th, a lucky New Jersey resident, another New Jersey resident, won a $1 million prize playing Powerball through the app.
Oh, wow. So they had a 3-point-something million dollar winner a couple of weeks ago, and now they have a $1 million winner? Wow.
Well, this was
a damn good app.
I almost was just going to let this go, but when I was reading the release, I was going to save it for another episode, but I was reading the release, and this is done on what Jackpocket has called the autoplay function of their app.
What is autoplay? I don't have Jackpocket, so I'm not too familiar with Jackpocket. I mean, I'm familiar through the news reporting with the incredible winnings that people are getting from Jackpocket, but I don't have Jackpocket.
Well, according to the specs, the autoplay feature of the Jackpocket app basically it lets you purchase your numbers over and over again. You type in your numbers that you want, and it rebuys them. But what you do is you set it to when the jackpot hits a certain level, and it automatically buys the ticket.
Oh, okay. So in advance, you would say, I want to play 1, 2, 3 every week, and you pay for it, right?
Right.
And it automatically buys the ticket. But it won't buy the ticket if it doesn't reach a certain... The jackpot doesn't want... You can set it for a certain amount jackpot. Yeah, I don't want to waste my time with anything under 12 million kind of thing. If it's over 12 million, buy me a ticket.
Well, it worked out for him because Derek of Essex County had ordered his winning ticket without even realizing he did it. He, according to the press release, I was at home just sitting on the couch when he received an email from the app that his ticket was a winner.
Wow.
He actually forgot he had set the autoplay function.
I got to tell you, I like winning like that better than, sitting there watching the numbers come out.
Oh, yeah.
That's really great.
Honestly, sometimes I just can't remember when they're doing the drawings. I remember watching the lottery drawing on TV was actually kind of an event. People used to sit around the TV and watch it.
It was right after the local news.
Yeah, it was like, 7:30, 8 o'clock?
I can't remember. Yeah.
But, it was kind of, I don't know if it's lost its spark to it, but with all these different features, with the app like this, you don't actually even need to watch anything anymore.
Well, let me tell you something. Online casinos are like that, too, because in slots, you can auto-spin, set it for auto-spin, and walk away,
That's sort of what he did here.
You can set it for the amount of money you want to play in a slot machine, hit auto, and walk away, and they'll play all the thing, and they'll keep playing if you win, and if he gets down to a certain level, it stops.
Yeah, you can set the number of spins, all that. Same thing with the autoplay here for, and also you don't have to type in your numbers. You can actually do a quick pick.
Okay.
I don't know if it does a quick pick each and every time, but it does. You can do your numbers as a quick pick and maybe just rebuy those same numbers.
See, that's pretty cool. Okay.
So that's a nice feature. And
I got to check out Jackpocket, though.
According to the release, since the app's 2019 launch, New Jerseyans have won over $25 million in lottery prizes through the app.
Wow.
So Jackpocket is making waves. I think they also just became the first third-party lottery app to get an online casino market access.
Yeah, I think they're going through Caesars.
Yeah, so
looks like Jackpocket's going to have an online casino attached to it.
And, that's still a great name even for an online casino. Because it's a jackpot in your pocket.
There you go.
That's it for this week's Beatin The House. Keep those press releases coming in. info@turnpikesportsradio.com, and we will put up some more jackpots next week.
Our NFL picks are next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports. We'll get back to the show in a few moments, but I just wanted to take some time and tell everyone about Bean Genius, the smart specialty coffee subscription service. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country. They feature over 2,000 specialty coffee blends, all at your fingertips at beangenius.com. Here's how it works. Head on over to beangenius.com and take their palate profiler test to find out what coffee best fits your taste. Then select from a variety of subscription plans. Every subscription comes with free shipping, and delivery can even be scheduled for once or twice each month. And based upon your review of each coffee blend you try, Bean Genius actually learns your individual taste preferences and then suggests future coffee blends for you. And now you can get 10% off your Bean Genius subscription when you use our promo code PIKE at checkout. Bean Genius offers a variety of subscription plans to suit any coffee lover's needs. Subscribe with Bean Genius today and start enjoying some of the best tasting coffee around. And save 10% off your coffee plan with promo code PIKE. This week's Turnpike Sports Pro Pick segment is brought to you by BetMGM Online Sportsbook. Get ready to turn big plays into paydays. New customers, start with a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Simply sign up with promo code Turnpike, make a deposit, and place your first wager. If the bet loses, you'll receive the amount of your wager back in free bets. That's a risk-free bet up to $1,000 with your first deposit at BetMGM Online Sportsbook when using our code Turnpike when you register. Bet with confidence and go all in on all the action with the king of sportsbooks, BetMGM. Must be at least 21 years or old to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. New customers only. Problem gambler. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to Week 17, what used to be the very final week of the NFL regular season.
Yeah.
Now it's one more week. We've got Sunday games, and we've got Sunday day, Sunday night, and Monday games. No Thursday or Saturday games this week.
Okay.
We're using the BetMGM lines from early Tuesday, so please check the lines after these picks are released. They're definitely going to change by the time kickoff happens.
Especially with the COVID situation.
Yes.
My goodness. And
let me tell you something. We're doing these Tuesday morning. I already had a change, and I had wanted to get it, but in all fairness, I have to go with the current lines as we're recording them.
Well,
so,
I'm locking them in. So yeah, I'm locking mine in.
I've locked them in.
It could be bad, that could be good, but I'm locking them in.
It's a good lesson for everyone out there. You see a line you like, lock it in at that point.
Yeah.
Again, we're Week 17, 3 games each. We do point spreads and totals, no money lines. Let's recap last week. We both went 2-1.
Yes, thank you, Jets.
And we are now just about tied.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
for the season.
All
I'm
right.
26-21-1. You're 24-21-3. It's your pushes that are causing the little discrepancy here.
I always say the pushes in this game that we're playing is like a tie in the NFL. It really screws up the standings.
We actually should award points for the pushes, like they do in hockey.
Yeah, something like that.
But again, we're in Week 17. Actually, some really good games that this past week that
really
happened.
Great games. Yeah.
I still am in shock at what Miami did to New Orleans. I love Miami's defense, but the fact that they shut it down like that. I mean, backup quarterback aside.
Yeah, he wasn't even a backup quarterback. He was like a third stringer, or I don't even know what he was.
And there were even rumors before the game was played that the Saints had reached out to Drew Brees again.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he was not ready to do anything. He actually nixed it. He was thinking about it, but he realized he couldn't do it. So that's what the story is that's out there right now. But we got some really interesting games this week. I mean, they're going to be playoff positions decided by all these games. We've got a bunch of division champs already crowned. So we'll see what happens. I just did not like a lot of the games, to be honest with you.
I think they're going to be great games. It makes it a lot tougher to handicap what we're doing. But, give it your best shot.
All right, well, I went first last week. Did I or no? No,
yeah.
I went first last week.
Yeah.
You go ahead. You go first this week.
Well, I'll start off with I think is going to be the game of the week. The Kansas City Chiefs, who are favored by 5.5 points, versus the Cincinnati Bengals with a total of 49.5 points. I think this is going to be the game of the week because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. The Kansas City Chiefs are hitting their stride, and Joe Burrow is playing great for the Bengals. I won last week betting the over with the Bengals, and, they didn't disappoint. And but when it comes to the over, Kansas City hit the over 4-1 in their last 5 games, and the Bengals went over 5-0 in their last 5 games following a win. So, I'm following the trends in this one. I'm taking the over.
It's over 49.5.
Yeah.
My first game, and this is the game I was teasing at the beginning of this segment. The Detroit Lions are visiting the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is currently favored at 6.5 points, and the over-under is 42.5. Now, when I looked at this early Tuesday, I was up at 4 o'clock for some reason, and I was looking at it, and the line was the Seahawks by 7.5.
Okay.
So it's already changed by a point this morning in a matter of hours.
If you were going with Detroit, you probably should have jumped on them then.
Yes. I wasn't expecting it to change that much.
Are you going with Detroit?
I'm staying with my pick. Here, I'll just give you some analysis. The Lions right now are 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games. They're 4-1 against the spread.
They do cover a lot.
In the last 5 road games. They don't win a lot, but they cover.
They cover.
And the Seahawks are only 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games and 1-2 ATS in their last 3 home games. And in the last 4 meetings between these 2 teams, it's 2-2 against the spread. So as you can see where I'm heading with this analysis, with Detroit covering almost every game that they've been playing in, I'm still going to go with that plus 6.5. I should have gone with the plus 7.5. That would have made me feel a lot more comfortable. But I'll go with the plus 6.5 with this.
Well, my next game is the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Indianapolis Colts, who are favored by 7.5 points with an over-under of 44.5 points. I think this could be a long afternoon for the Raiders. The Colts come into the game with the 2nd-ranked rushing offense in the NFL, and the visiting Raiders have the 19th-ranked rushing defense in the league. Plus, the Colts have had extra time to prepare because they played on Christmas night. And I lost that game, by the way. Thank you for asking.
I won.
Yeah, you won. The Las Vegas Raiders are 3-7 against the spread in their last 7 road games, while the Colts are 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. I think the Indianapolis Colts are a much more talented team than the Las Vegas Raiders, so I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts and laying the points.
I went with this game as well. A couple other additional stats that swayed me to my pick here. The Colts are also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 versus the AFC.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-0 against the spread in their last 4 road games, while the Raiders are 1-3 against the spread in their last 4 at home.
Yeah.
And no pun intended in this statement, but Jonathan Taylor is determined to be in the running for the MVP.
Yeah, absolutely.
He is actually one of the best backs I've seen in the last couple of years.
Unfortunately, they tend to give it to quarterbacks.
Yeah, so. But I don't know about this year.
I wonder.
Could be interesting to watch.
I haven't seen the odds on him winning the MVP, so I have to take a look at the sports books and see where the lines are.
But we're going with the same game, Indianapolis, laying the points.
Okay. And my final game, Denver Broncos versus the Los Angeles Chargers, who are favored by 5.5 points with an over-under of 45. I mean, the Chargers are looking to bounce back after their horrible game against the Houston Texans, and I think the visiting Broncos are the perfect team for the Chargers to play to get back on track. They're already talking about the Broncos getting rid of their coach, so it's not a good situation right now in Denver. The Broncos are 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games, while the Chargers are 6-2-1 against the spread in their last 9 games in January. And I think the Chargers need to bounce back, and I think the Denver Broncos are the perfect team to do it against. Yeah, I think if the Chargers had a good showing against Houston, this line would it'd probably be about 6.5, 7.5, or something like that. But right now it's at 5.5 for the Chargers, and I'm taking the Los Angeles Chargers and laying the 5.5 points.
Yeah, well, my last game. The Atlanta Falcons visit the Buffalo Bills. There's a 14.5 point spread in favor of Buffalo. Matter of fact, this week coming up, it has the most double-digit spreads of all season.
Yeah, there's some incredible games,
and there's
some incredible spreads,
and there's an over/under of 44.5.
Yeah,
Bills seem to have righted the ship the last couple of weeks. They've scored over 27 points in 4 of their last 5 games and 5 of their last 7. Falcons, other than their losses against the Patriots and Cowboys, I think they were shut out by the Patriots, as a matter of fact. They've been able to put double digits on the board every game of the year. I think you're going to see Buffalo being very aggressive, making a statement going into the final week of the season, especially since they're still vying for first place in the AFC East against the Patriots, who happen to get the Jaguars as their opponent. So I think you're going to see a very aggressive Buffalo team, and I'm going with the over 44.5.
Wow, okay.
Let's recap.
Okay, I'm going with the over 49.5 points in the Chiefs-Bengals game. I'm taking the Indianapolis Colts. They're laying the points, 7.5 points against the Las Vegas Raiders. And I'm laying the 5.5 points on the Los Angeles Chargers against the Denver Broncos.
And I'm doing the Lions plus 6.5 against the Seahawks. The Colts laying the 7.5 against the Raiders. And the over 44.5 in the Falcons-Bills game. These picks will be up on the blog after the show publishes. As always, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button, and you'll see our picks there. Again, please check your odds as you get closer to game time. They will change. And just have fun.
The book report is next, so stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports.
Turnpike Sports Book Report.
The Turnpike Sports Book Report is brought to you by BorgataSports.com. Your favorite casino is now your favorite sportsbook. Available anywhere in New Jersey, BorgataSports.com. Sign up at BorgataSports.com using our promo code PIKE, that's P-I-K-E. Make your first wager of $20 or more and you'll get $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when your first wager on Borgata Sports is $20 or more. Get into the action with BorgataSports.com. Must be 21 years or older and in New Jersey to place a bet. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
And welcome to this week's book report. Actually, the last book report of the year.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I guess it would be.
This is the last book report of the year. Yeah. And, as always, we will be talking about the state and national sports betting reports that come out every month. We've got legislative updates that we discuss. We talk about launches and deals that happen across the country, across the United States, North America, international. But I guess we got to start now with the newest state to launch sports betting, which is Ohio.
I guess that is the big story of the week, right? The big sports betting story of the week is Ohio.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, it took them a while. A lot of people were kind of questioning whether or not they were going to be able to launch sports betting this year. They have not yet, but they have passed the bill, and Governor DeWine signed it.
It's in state law now.
It's on the books now. And it was actually a lot of people were looking at it as they can't come to an agreement on this. And at the last couple of weeks in November, you started hearing rumblings. At the beginning of December, they actually had the bill And then everybody voted on it and passed it.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
Once they got their heads together and put everything in the right spot for all the deals, it actually ended up being a very quick process for Ohio.
I think that's going to be a great market, too. It's got some great sport teams in there, great college teams. It's really an outstanding market.
It's one of the most expansive sports betting bills.
Good.
Not only will you be able to place bets on pro sports, you've got college sports, including the in-state colleges and
Good.
also in-state collegiate athletic events being played in the state.
Good. I wish New Jersey had that.
And you also have eSports.
Great.
eSports is all part of the bill.
Awesome.
And I actually took a look at this. Ohio is the 7th biggest U.S. state by population, and it is the 4th biggest to legalize betting behind New York, Pennsylvania, and Illinois.
It's a huge market. It's going to be great for sports betting, and sports betting is going to be great for Ohio. So good for them.
The Ohio sports betting law will allow casinos, sports teams, stadiums, bars, restaurants, all to apply for sports betting licenses.
Great.
They're going to be able to have cell phone, mobile, as well as online wagering in addition to the retail books. And there's a total of more than 50 skins available.
Okay, great.
So we're looking at one of the biggest markets to launch 2022. You're probably going to see this market become one of the bigger ones much, much faster than some of the other states out there.
Oh, it'll be top 5 in no time.
And according to the bill, no one's going to be getting a head start, they said. So I don't know exactly if they're going to hold true to that.
So
no one's
sports betting will start on one day.
Yeah.
Everyone starts the same day.
Supposedly.
That's what they're saying?
That's what they're talking about. I know Louisiana has said that too, and a couple other states do it that way as well. But we'll see exactly what happens. But at the latest, the entire industry will launch by January 1st of 2023. It's going to go earlier. Definitely going to go earlier.
At the very late. Let me tell you something. I would guess it might even start before the Super Bowl, especially online, because
they haven't issued the rules and regulations yet.
Maybe not the Super Bowl, maybe March Madness.
I think March Madness would be a better goal
more realistic.
Yeah,
but I mean, especially for online. I mean, they have all the things in place and things like that.
But again,
even kiosks in casinos.
It really depends on how quickly they promulgate the rules and regulations. I mean, if they have those ready to go and they approve them really quick, I mean, I don't know how much time is left in their legislative session here before the end of the year here, but if they actually move pretty quick, they actually could do the Super Bowl, if you think about it.
I think they could move quick.
I mean, Louisiana did it so quick. They did it on Halloween, and everything launched on Halloween.
What are they? They're like the 33rd state in the union, 34th state? What is this?
33rd state, but 34th jurisdiction overall, if you want to call it that. I don't know exactly.
My point in bringing that up is, they can look at 2 other states to see what they do, and certainly states look at other states and see their rules and regulations, see what works and see what doesn't work. So they have 33 or 34 different jurisdictions to look at. So you know what? These rules and regulations should be pretty quickly drawn up.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
You're not reinventing the wheel here.
Well, you also have Ohio is moving quick, and actually one other state is moving just as quick now. It's New York. Yeah. There was a report by a couple different outlets that New York State Assemblyman Gary Pretlow, who introduced that bill to expand it already.
Yeah, right. They haven't gotten mobile yet they're ready to expand it too. So good for them.
He has told reporters that the agreements with all the servers have been negotiated. That's important because now that the server agreements have been negotiated, the actual launching of the operators is the final step here.
Well, look, they're paying for airtime in New York. Coming out of New York, I listen to New York sports radio. They have, DraftKings coming to New York soon, so you can register now. Then New York Television, I think it was CBS. It was Caesars. They had the thing coming soon to New York. So they're paying for airtime, so it's pretty close.
You got to do that to get your customers
pretty
all
close.
lined up.
Them definitely, probably Super Bowl, right?
Well, according to Assemblyman Pretlow, once the servers are up and running and approved, you could see a late January launch.
Yeah, certainly by the
You're
Super
going to be
Bowl,
playoffs,
yeah.
maybe.
Oh, absolutely.
So it'll be interesting to see exactly how quickly New York gets up and running now. One other state that I came across in doing the research for this week's book report, and they've had a kind of an interesting development, and that's Arkansas.
Arkansas. Okay. You're diving deep here in the markets, huh?
Well, it's a matter of they're trying to pass mobile sports betting in Arkansas, or they're in the process of, and they're going to be voting on it with this week, if not early next week.
Okay.
I'm talking about in terms of when this is airing. So when this is airing, they may vote on it. They may be voting on it.
Okay.
But what's going on is there's a proposed rule change that has all the sports books upset.
Oh, okay. All right.
The proposed rule change is that the casinos have to turn over 51% of the sports betting revenue to the state.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well,
you're talking crazy New York numbers with that kind of number.
Well, again, it's a matter of they want it that way. I mean, the casinos are okay with it, looks like. The legislatures are okay with it. The sports books are not okay with it. What's going on in Arkansas is that DraftKings emailed residents in the state regarding online sports betting. They sent an email to the residents saying that the proposed rule change will hurt the industry because they're not allowed to offer the same types of promos, the same types of offers that they have in other states because of this huge revenue share.
I mentioned New York in terms of these numbers. That's exactly what people are saying about New York. New York has a 51% tax rate on sports betting, and a lot of people are saying, you know what, you're going to lose customers to New Jersey because to make a profit or to make it worthwhile, sportsbook operators can't do the same promos and same specials they have for their customers in New York State. And people are going to have to go to New Jersey to get the special promos because the numbers are lower in New Jersey and they can make more money in New Jersey.
The difference between New York and Arkansas, though, is the population.
Sure.
New York's market can withstand that 51% tax rate, I think. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're still going to have some of these junkets, I guess you can call them now, going from New York to New Jersey or New York to Pennsylvania, or even New York to one of the New England states, Connecticut.
Yeah.
You may see that be a new business that pops up. Online sportsbook junkets.
Yeah, I know. Instead of buses going to casinos, buses will be going
to the state line.
Just to the state line or diners or a Starbucks across the border.
The very first freeway rest stop will be a casino.
Yeah, the rest stop. Yeah, just park in a rest stop.
So I think Arkansas is it'll be interesting to watch Arkansas to see whether they back off on that change. But there is a new website and a new Facebook page called Bet on Arkansas that's set up by the sports books to inform people of what's going on.
Okay.
And, like I said, we don't talk about Arkansas too much.
No.
And, we'll see what happens, whether or not they actually get this passed. Moving up the country to Illinois regarding some legislative updates here. Illinois Governor Pritzker has signed House Bill 3136, which allows for wagering on in-state colleges in person. It's retail, only, no mobile.
All right.
Sets March 5th as the start date for remote sports betting registration. They're going to remove the in-person registration requirement on March 5th.
Good.
And then the bill also makes Wintrust Arena eligible to apply for a sports wagering sports facility license.
Okay.
That's kind of important because it's the first female-owned operation there, because it's the WNBA team.
Great.
That would be applying for it.
Yeah, good for them.
Let's talk some records here. We had
records.
We had a couple of different states reporting their numbers, and Pennsylvania.
Yes, very good month for sports betting.
Pennsylvania had the November numbers reported. It was kind of a good handle, $761 million. But the important thing was they actually set a record. They are the first state to clear $20 million in taxes in a month.
And that's why states have sports betting, for the tax revenue. And Pennsylvania hit it out of the park in November.
It's kind of really impressive that they are the first. I would have thought somebody else would have hit that one. I mean, maybe I'm surprised New Jersey hasn't hit that one yet.
Yeah.
That may be the only thing New Jersey hasn't hit.
I can tell you one thing. New York's going to hit it with its tax rate.
Oh, yeah.
New York's going to break that record.
And also, Pennsylvania is the first state to clear $200 million in taxes in the post-PASPA era.
Wow, that's great.
Kind of a little feather in their cap there. I mean,
absolutely.
They're sitting next to the new juggernaut, which is Jersey.
Well, look, that's why states have sports betting, to get these figures,
And not to be, we just talked about New York with their 51% sports betting. They just set a revenue record for themselves.
Okay.
$3.956 million in sports betting revenue for New York. That's just with the current state of things. There's no other mobile sports betting launch. There's no. There's only the 4 upstate casinos that have sports betting.
Yes,
that's retail. That's why it's kind of a small number in terms of in the grand scheme of things. It's a small number.
Well, in the next couple of years, I think New York City or the New York City metropolitan area are going to have some casinos. I think there are 3 licenses being given out.
We'll see what happens there. But,
and also possibly the Meadowlands in New Jersey might have a casino. So
very well could be.
New York and New Jersey are really going to town in this thing.
South Dakota also reported their November numbers, and while we're not directly going to be talking about their numbers, I have to give a little hat tip to Chris Altruda over at US Bets Better Collective.
Sure.
He dug out these 2 little nuggets, and I thought these were too interesting to pass up to talk about. Since the launch of the South Dakota sports betting, NHL payouts total $21,000 on $13,000 wagered. Somebody knows hockey there.
Okay.
And no one has won a PGA bet since the launch.
Okay.
That's kind of an interesting little note.
I guess South Dakota's not big on golf.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess it's a cold state, so it means hockey's big there.
It's not a big sample size. It's only $900 worth of betting on golf there. But I thought it was just such kind of a interesting little
Is that the one where South Dakota, it's only in Deadwood?
It's only in Deadwood, and it's only retail on the premises. So, it's a very limited market there. Going over to some deals, and I think since we talked about Ohio at the top of the show here, got to talk about the very first deal that came out of this, and that's Rush Street Interactive doing a deal with the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company for a retail sports betting location at the Hall of Fame Village.
Yep, that was this week's interview on Turnpike.
That's going to be a very interesting sports book, and also
it should be a blast. That whole property is going to be great.
They've gotten access to not only the logos and the IP for the Hall of Fame and all that. They also have access to the Hall of Fame members.
Great, yeah.
So we may see some very interesting commercials, very interesting events happening at the sportsbook.
I mean, look, I went there in 2005 to see Dan Marino get sworn in because our friend was a big Dan Marino fan, and he brought everyone out to Canton, Ohio to see it. And it was an amazing facility. And what they're creating now, I wish they had it when we were there because,
there's not much to do outside of the Hall of Fame.
Canton's a great city, a great town, but you know what? It's after the Hall of Fame, you're kind of looking for things to do. And with this new property being created with the Hall of Fame Resort and Entertainment Company, I think it's going to be an incredible experience when you visit the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
In all fairness to Canton, we did not experience the Canton nightlife, whatever that would be.
Yeah,
so maybe they have a great club scene. I don't know.
I don't know.
But, again.
We played golf in Sharon, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. But again, looking forward to seeing it's a 10-year deal. And I'm wondering if we're going to see another deal coming down the road for the Hall of Fame Village because they're allowed multiple skins. I think 2.
Hey,
so we'll see exactly what happens there. And I'm curious, is it going to be a Play Sugar House or a Bet Rivers?
I don't know.
Hasn't been announced yet. So
I've seen Play Sugar House everywhere. I saw Play Sugar House in Connecticut.
Well, that was the deal with the Connecticut Lottery.
Yep.
I don't know what they're going to do here. It may be a Hall of Fame branded sports book just run by
That'd
RSI.
Be great.
So it could be. Have to see exactly how that develops, but it'll be fun to watch. Caesars did a deal with former NBA 2K TV host Rachel Demita to do some content. First time I've ever heard of an NBA 2K host.
Yeah, I'm not sure who that is. She's one of those announcers that I would know her if I saw her.
I've never watched the NBA 2K highlight show, so I wouldn't know her. But again, they did a deal with that with her. Let's see. Desert Diamond is going to be launching a Desert Diamond branded mobile sports betting app and also a retail book in Arizona. You've got, let's see, Fubo has launched in Arizona.
Okay.
That's their second state in which the sportsbook is available. They also have market access agreements in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Indiana. They're already live in Iowa. Colorado, we had Monarch Casino. We had the head of that company on the show in the past.
Yeah, last year, I think.
Yeah, Fahari.
Yes.
And they have announced that the Bet Monarch retail book is now open.
Nice.
In the Monarch Casino.
It looks beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
And finally, for the final note of the year, BetMGM has announced the launch of the BetMGM horse racing mobile app in 2 more states. They are now live in Florida and Louisiana.
Are they live in New Jersey?
They are not live in New Jersey yet. They, I believe they are live in Michigan. Oh, and one other quick little note. Wisconsin now has a second sports betting compact between the state and the St. Croix Chippewa Indians, just awaiting final verdict by the Department of Interior. Speaking of Department of Interior, we'll see what happens down in Florida coming up.
Yeah, that went so well in Florida.
Yeah, so but that's it for this final episode of 2021 for the book report. As always, send in your news releases, your news and notes, info at turnpikesportsradio.com, and we'll be sure and include them in the book report in the future. Plus, you will see the print version, which has many more stories on our blog, turnpikesportsradio.com. Click on the blog button, you'll see it there. And don't forget, on the TV side, we have our news ticker, which is showing even additional stories on the TV side of the show.
And that'll do for us this week. Happy New Year, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.